this edition of the Podium, which is coming to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. With me, Asmiba. We start with a quote of the day, which comes from David Jones, CEO of Black Justice Foundation. It says, the participation of marginalized communities in the census means providing us access to our fair share, to resources, and to respond to crises. And coming up into this edition of the program, President Bio declares a new census for Sierra Leone. We shall get the reaction from the presidential spokesman and also the main opposition party, All People's Congress. And also today's program, Zambia defeats Sierra Leone 3-2 in the 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifiers in Lusaka. What is Leone Stars standing in the competition? We are going to find out from one of our sports analysts in the country. All these stories and more, including your text messages, which you can send to the number 03.
Last evening in Lusaka, Zambia, when we played against the Chipolo Polo in the Africa Cup of Nations 2025 qualifier in Morocco. As you rightly said, just a few days ago, we are held to a goal draw playing against the low-ranked country Chad when we hosted them in Liberia. We play away from home, yes indeed, but we used Liberia as our home turf to play in the qualifying. Unfortunately, we failed to have all 3 points needed in that match when the game ended in the goal draw. Yesterday also, we are thinking that we should have secured the points. Mathematically, our chances of qualifying is very slim. Thinking that come next month in October, we are prepared to play 2 other matches, home and away, against Ivory Coast, the defending champion, and also the group leader so far. So our chances so far is very slim, and the performance of our boys is not really good to write home about. Think about the resources spent so far. The NSA director, Safa Abdullah, when they had the budget hearing, was asking for $3 million in this campaign for 6 matches, September, October, November. We are playing 2 matches each of these months. When the government have already provided part of that money when we play these 2 matches against the Chad and also Zambia. So our performance yesterday was not.
Well, yesterday, I mean, Leone Stars started off well, and when the match started, the players were in control, and many people thought Leone Stars was going to continue in that spirit. What really went wrong?
Yes, indeed. A lot of things went wrong. We lack a lot of things in our boys. These are the players available so far. We are still looking at the qualities of players. The creativity was lacking in that game. We started well, as you rightly said, when we conceded an early goal. 5 minutes later, we had equalizing by Augustus Cabo, playing his great football in Italy's second division, Serie B, Cesena. We're expecting them to take from that cue and see how best we can secure, if not a maximum point, but a point so that we can keep our hopes alive. But yesterday, really, a lot of things absent from our boys, and even from the technical staff, changes, player positioning. Even we are thinking that when we played against Chad, the right back Kake should not have been part of this game yesterday. When we saw his last performance is on a charge. He's not playing for the past a year plus now, past football season, almost 12 months he's not been playing. He's part of the squad yesterday also.
Is it that the technical team got something wrong?
Yes, I believe so, because looking at the team selection, even the player that came in the second half, this Indolo Mustafa, 19 years old, plays skate football for Crystal Palace, the reserve team under 19. He played well when he came also from the bench in Liberia against Chad. We're expecting to be part of the starting lineup also. But again, when you talk, they said the box up at the coach. Yes, indeed, but that doesn't mean that we don't have people who are technically minded to look at the squad and say, no, this is our first 11 we're expecting. But unfortunately, there is no way about for our technical staff to see how best they can have the squad, because our qualifying started from the team selection. We failed in Liberia playing against Chad. We had all the opportunity because we are thinking that because it's a low-ranked team, so complacency tell on the boys. We are not expecting that kind of performance against Zambia. When Zambia they lost their first match against Ivory Coast by 2-0 away from home. So yesterday we were expecting that we are playing a wounded lion team that we're very determined for that match. But notwithstanding, the first 15-20 minutes, even before the game, before the 2 goals came, we're expecting that these boys can even turn the result around.
I mean, that's one problem many Sierra Leonean fans or those who have been following sports in Sierra Leone say one of the key challenges of Leone Stars is that they find it very difficult to maintain their goals and also inflict some goals on their opponents, and that's something Leone Stars year in year out we've been grappling with.
Yeah, it's an old age issue, but I think these couple of players should have far away dealt with that, because we have young boys, we have players that we are really expecting that this should be the golden generation. We have been scouted for quite a long time to see how best we can even bring on board players that have this British connection. Indeed, we have about 6 or 7 of them in the national team. But I think the problem lies within the technical side. If the authority can think otherwise or beyond what we are thinking, that forget about local coaches, let's go now and being foreign coaches, maybe with the kind of philosophy we are looking at for our national team will be more better than what we are seeing from our own base coaches. But unfortunately, I think the team selection really realized the problem. So looking at
this issue of selection, I think is an elephant in the room. I remember a few days ago, before the team left for Liberia, there was a heated debate between the chairman of the NSA, Safa Abdullahi, and also the president of the of the FA on the issue of selection. I remember that Safa Abdullahi did say that when it comes to selection, yes, the coach is a technical man, he should have his say, but he must also be mindful of the cries, the calls, the concerns of citizens and even other stakeholders. And the president of SLFA did state that it is left with the coach to take the final decision who to choose, who to play and who not to play.
Yes, indeed. Before the eve of our first match against Chad, that program was held in one of your sister program and a Good Morning Show. But I'm at 98.1. But really, I think, yes, indeed, when you talk about selection of player, the box stop at the coach. Even Great Britain or England, the media plays a great role in terms of team selection. We follow the issue of Harry Kane having his 100 caps so far. We know the debate that is surrounding is whether the coach will use him against Finland when they played yesterday before the match. Yes. So you can see the media creates the platform for the coach to see how best he can call where a certain player, because the media follow most of these players internationally. That doesn't mean that when it comes to the selection of coach of players, issue lies only with the technical side or the head coach. Yes, indeed, selection of players, there are lots of interference. Even the issue of Kai Kamara came up about we need some experienced player. It doesn't mean because Kai Kamara resigned from international football doesn't mean it doesn't come again or it doesn't want to come back. No. International best, but it happened. Player resign internationally. After 2-3 months, they come back again to be part of the squad. So if that is the case, I think the issue of we having these local coaches because of interference don't have the independency of selecting player. I don't know if that will happen when we have foreign coaches, because maybe we can see much difference. But government will use some of taxpayers' money on Leone Stars without delivering, because this time around we don't want to fail. 24 teams qualified, 2 team EPAN group. Why Sierra Leone should not qualify? Yes, indeed, before the draw, Ivory Coast was the favorite on paper. Yes, indeed, that's what they are exhibiting now. Between Sierra Leone and Zambia, we should fight to be part of the qualifiers so that we can be part of the 25 nations. But unfortunately, the way it started, I might have felt our chance is very, very slim for qualifying.
Thank you very much. Continue to be with us. He is Pa Ali Sise, one of the proficient and prolific sport analysts in Sierra Leone. The program is Podium, where we are discussing about Leone Stars' performance yesterday. The national team was defeated by 3-2 by the Zambian team. Well, that was a very sad note for national team. And according to him, the chances are getting slimmer as the days go by. Well, we hope Leone Stars could play the magic bullets to ensure that they qualify for the African Cup of Nations. This Podium coming to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Let's now go to another issue which should have been our topmost. It has to do with census, where President Julius Maada Bio has declared the 1st of December as census night for the conduct of the population and housing census for 2025. According to the president, the date from the decennial census in 2025 would guide the implementation of various development programs in 2024 to 2030 medium-term national development plan and also is an effort to achieve the Global Sustainable Development Goals, where the census will provide reliable baseline data to assess the impact of critical development interventions. Where Sierra Leone has a long history of conducting census from 1802 until 2025. Well, the president declared December 1st as census night and the 2nd December for the conduct of the census.
Achieve the Global Sustainable Development Goals. This census will provide reliable baseline data to assess the impact of critical development interventions on both these guiding instruments with a contemporary deadline of 2030. Through statistical insights derived from this census, we will track our progress and identify challenges crucial to our national development agenda. Sierra Leone has a long history of conducting censuses, dating back to the earliest census in 1802 and followed by modern-day censuses in 1963, 1974, 1985, 2004, and 2015. With the upcoming decennial census scheduled for 2025, we will continue this legacy. Building on the success of the 2021 midterm population and housing census, we will leverage computer-assisted personal interviews for the 2025 population and housing census. My government will commit considerable financial and logistical resources to support this 2025 population and housing census. We will collaborate with our esteemed partners, such as the United Nations Population Fund, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, the United States Census Bureau through USAID, and others, to ensure the success of this important national endeavor. Fellow citizens, I've been advised by the Minister of Planning and Economic Development on the state of preparedness for the 2025 population and housing census. In accordance with its functions, Statistics Sierra Leone shall have the general supervision and management in the conduct of the 2025 population and housing census. At this juncture, by the order made by the Statutory Instrument Number 8 of 2024, I now direct that a population and housing census of all inhabitants of Sierra Leone be conducted from the 2nd to the 15th December 2025. Therefore, I declare the night of 1st December 2025 as census night, and the 2nd December 2025 as the date for the commencement of a nationwide 2025 population and housing census for Sierra Leone. I thank you, and may God bless the Republic of Sierra Leone.
That was President Julius Madabio addressing the nation on declaring the 2025 population and housing census. So let me start with Mohammed Hope Kamara, who is the Deputy Publicity Secretary of the All People's Congress. As a party, you've had the President declared the 2025 census. What's the party's position? What's the party's reaction so far?
Well, unlike the midterm census, this particular declaration or proclamation meets what we refer to as constitutional requirement as prescribed, wherein this was taken to Parliament. It adhered to its 21-day consultancy, and then it was passed before the proclamation. So unlike the midterm census, and we are ready to participate. We are just looking forward to the preparedness of Statistics Sierra Leone and other institutions that will help. We are also looking at the technical support team, so that what happened during the midterm census, the experiences that people got through it, that those data that will be gathered on behalf of the people of this country, let it be not for political reasons but for developmental purposes. So unlike the midterm census, this proclamation meets constitutional.
So this time you are going to ask your members to be counted?
We are going to ask them to participate fully, and because we also as a party, we are putting our apps together to ensure we monitor how the process is being done from scratch to finish. So we are in, and we are going to encourage our people.
Okay. Has the party learned from the mistake? Well, I don't know whether it was a mistake or not from the party during the midterm census when you asked your members not to be counted, and many people said that
hold dear to us the Constitution of 1991, which states that we should have a census every 10 years. But also, the same Constitution gives the president the right to call a census anytime he deems it necessary. The same Constitution did that. So the midterm census that was declared was constitutional. And the president followed.
Well, it can be constitutional, but was it necessary? Something can be lawful, but you ask yourself, is it necessary?
But how do you determine necessity? It depends on the one who wears the shoe. So at that time, the government, and led by the president, believed that it was necessary to have a midterm census. That also, they had issues with the 2015 as a party when they were in opposition. So they thought they would correct that by getting the opposition to work with them. Unfortunately, the APC did not do that. They actually went ahead and tried to disrupt the census. But for me to hear Mr. Hope Kamara say that the party is willing to work with the government for the development of Sierra Leone, for me it's music to my ears. It shows that the party to which I belong is becoming of age. I believe that that kind of approach to governance, collective governance, is what Sierra Leone is looking for. The census is not just an executive thing, it's for the whole government. And the government includes the parliament and the council. For good governance, for tax purposes, for everything. In England, in 1086, the first census was conducted by William the Conqueror to know how many people, how much money they can raise, where we can send resources.
But most times we have politics override.
But the act of even conducting the census is a dictate of politics. You have to do it. Otherwise, why are you there? How can you be a father in a house and you don't know how many people you have under you to look after, to feed and all that? How can you be a headman in a village when you don't know how many people you have under your jurisdiction?
That should be more of a social consideration and political
as well as the politics and social. How can you separate the two? It's called socio-political considerations. It is because you want to make sure that the welfare of your people is well looked after. That is why you ask for these censuses. But I think the approach of the APC at this time is the right thing to do, because good governance dictates that you know where you are going and how you go there. And to know how you go there, you must go through this dictates of carrying out censuses every 10 years. So for me, I don't see any reason why they should be worried about political considerations. You just said it. It is after the first census in 1802 in Sierra Leone, that 5 districts were created. And then in 1963, we went to 12 districts after censuses. And each time the population increases, you find out that the density of the population is such that you can spread it. Then you create more room. It's like we're here now in this room. It's okay, but if we bring 200-300 people in here, we can't fit. You have to create another room to take the people out there. But that is not the intention of this government. The intention is to make sure that the census results are used in order to advance the medium-term national economic development plan in order to realize and fulfill and deliver on the 5 game changes.
Okay, thank you very much, Elijah. Let me bring in again Mohammed Pope Kamara. These concerns that opposition parties normally hold. Do you hold those concerns as a party?
Well, for the Genesis, we've not reached there yet. As far as we are concerned, we are only concerned now with the preparedness of statistics in news, because some months or years back, we saw how most of those technical personalities, those who know the job, will see how they were massively sacked and axed out of the statistics. So we don't know the current status of the staff that they have. We don't know their commitment, whether their commitment is to political party or to the people of this country. So those concerns we have.
Statistics is a professional and technical institution.
Yeah,
so supposedly those who are there are supposed to be technically and professionally minded.
That is the expectation, and that is what we are looking forward to. So as far as we are concerned, we are monitoring the process. Immediately after the proclamation, as a party, we met, and then we took the decision on how we are going to put our acts together so that we will participate. Because this one for us is not about politics, it's about the development of the people, it's about the development of our community.
What about the previous one? Was about politics? The midterm?
Well, the midterm census, when you look at, like I said, we still maintain the fact, uphold the fact that we still say it is unconstitutional.
But just now you had Alhaji Alpha Kano referencing the constitution that according to the 1991 constitution, the president has the mandate, has the authority to declare census.
And as a party, we agree that that is exactly what the constitution says, but the processes were not followed properly that makes that particular census unconstitutional. Unlike this one, the midterm census was not named, was not taken to parliament, and it should be done in that particular manner. So anything that violates the constitution, we consider that one to be very much unconstitutional. But for this one, we don't want to start by expressing fears, because if we start, it's like we are naive, and we are not. For the fact that it is constitutional, we are supposed to support it and follow it. And what we are going to do, we are going to monitor that the right thing is done.
How are you going to do that? Are you going to have, for example, parallel?
It could not be parallel, but the constitution also gave us.
Are you going to have a mechanism of also?
Thank you. Collaborate. You understand? We are going to have a mechanism where we will work together.
Okay.
But at least we are going to be very vigilant, so that nothing of the sort that is not expected to happen. So, like I said, we are telling our people, we are going to meet our people, we are going to communicate to our people that this one is constitutional. You understand? And we should participate. Okay. And we are going to meet all our constituency executive to ensure they encourage our people to do, because like we say, it is for development, despite the economic hardship, despite the manner which things are hard in the country, despite all those negatives, despite the bastardization of the country, of the constitution that we've seen. But we are going to encourage our people, because as a party, we owe it to them. When things are right, let us tell them that this is the right thing. When things are wrong, 100 days I will light the city, and then we see it. Most of the headquarter towns, we see tar in all of them. Most of the headquarter towns are now talking about light. So we are looking forward. There is what we refer to as the tamabo, even the seed we've not seen, with more than over $32 million that have been put into it. So it's not just about proclamation, it's about follow-ups on those proclamations. It's about doing what is expected of you as a president. You monitor those services and so on and so forth. So for what I am saying, that to say if it is new, no, I will not be a witness to that. My uncle is here and he knows what we did when we were there compared to what is happening now.
Okay, he is Mohamed Pope Kamara, who is the deputy spokesperson of the Our People's Congress. Well, the program is Podium, coming to you live from Freetown. We are going for a short break. After the break, the program continues. We are back with the program Podium, which is coming to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation with me, Asmiba. Is there a way we can have a turnaround and also to see how we can scale up our chances? Because as it is now, the nation is not happy with the performance of our boys.
That's why I said earlier, mathematically, when you look at the statistics so far, the table ranking, we are not yet totally out. Although our chance is very, very slim. We have 2 matches in October playing against Ivory Coast on the 10th of October in Ivory Coast. 3 days or 4 days later, we prepare for the return leg in Liberia as our home match, playing against Ivory Coast on the 15th. So we need to secure 6 points in those 2 matches.
That's a very tall order.
That is football. That's why it's on paper. It's very difficult. On the pitch of play, it could be a very different ball game. Though we started we started very slowly, creating some problem in our qualifying of our chances. But we can still go ahead. To answer to your question, we are still on the race for the qualifying. So we need to secure, if not 6 points, but 4 points against the Elephant of Ivory Coast. Going to Ivory Coast, help them to a draw, come back to Sierra Leone, have the 3 points. Because right now we have 1 point, we are third in the table, whereas Ivory Coast won 2 matches, 6 points, right on top of the table, and followed by Zambia, who have 3 points, Sierra Leone 1 point, third position, and Chad remain bottom of the table. So we need to win those 2 matches, if not have 4 points in the 2 matches against Ivory Coast. Then come November, the last 2 matches for the qualifying will be against Zambia at home and Chad away. So though it is very, very difficult for us, but our chances still remain mathematically to qualify for the 2025.
Anything the coach or the team should change for the coming matches? Any changes that we should do in terms of technicalities and also even the composition of the team?
Yeah, within the corridor of the Football Association.
Makes vacuous statements. When he says something, it is something that he intends to do. No, yeah, the question of legality and non-legality of the 2021 census.
That is water under the bridge now.
That's what I want to say. It's water under the bridge. This is something that we've passed, and for me, I think the approach and the attitude of the APC is what we are looking forward to work with them, to collaborate with them, to even help us if there are any shortcomings in terms of raising the money. They probably will help. Show us how, I don't know. They have ideas. They've been in government before. They know what to do. We were there before, and I know that there are ways they could assist government in anything.
But there's always this distrust between the ruling and the opposition.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, and I'm glad.
But it shouldn't be, because sadly, that's the reality.
That is it. But it's looking this way. It's looking differently these days. We can see a lot of collaboration, a lot of understanding, some kind of dialogue and things that are going. And I believe when we do exchange ideas, we are able to solve problems before they even occur.
And normally on exercises like these ones, Alaji Alpha, the donor community is very crucial. They play a very crucial role. They are a very strong partner, and sometimes they also have their own interests. They also have what they want government to do for them to also disburse their own money.
The donor partners are enablers, they're helpers. They've come to help us to realize our goals. We set the agenda. We know where we want to get to. We have the medium-term national development, economic development plan. We have our aims to meet the 2030 SDGs. Not that kind of, that is the global target. And if we have a strategy to get there, the donor partners will help us get there. They will not try to put anything in front of us that will hamper our progress.
But remember the 2021 census, I mean, towards the eve of the census, there was a fallout between the government and some donors.
Yes, because governments wanted to execute a constitutional obligation.
So they were a stumbling block?
Well, I don't know, but if they pulled out, government went ahead and did it. They cannot stop the government from what the government believes is good for its people in terms of governance. So they can help you, but they cannot hinder you. And we expect that this time, and I know that this time, there's been a DPAC meeting that's been held not too long ago within the month of August. And I believe that most of these things have been ironed out. From the battlefield, and the people who elected you sent you to go and represent them. Parliament, a battlefield. You go there to fight for your people, but if you run away from the battlefield, they'll call you that you're on an whole basis. So they did the wrong thing. When you believe that you have a standpoint, use the standing orders, use the constitution, summon them to Parliament in a civilized manner, and then inquire to know what the situation is. But taking unilateral action, that is unconstitutional. Walking out is not constitutional. And shouting is not constitutional.
It's not unconstitutional neither.
Well, okay, but it is not in our books, all right? And what we go with is the Constitution and the standing orders. So you go with what is there. As a parliamentarian, that is what makes you different from the rest of the people you represent. They know that you have the right decision-making ability to do the things that will be in their interest. So for me, I believe this time they will not do it. The last time when this thing was done, by now there's a lot of shouting all over the place. Okay, to come back here now and say, we will work with you and all that, for me it's music to my ears.
Well, is there anything that the APC has learned from the past census?
Yeah, well, what we've learned from the past census is the fact that we saw a lot of intimidation, a lot of harassment that the opposition suffered during that particular one, where we see some statisticians, they will go to people places by force to register them to do census on them. But for the fact that this one we are in, I think it will not be. And the only problem we have, like we say, even for the second disbursement of finances for MDs, government have not done that. So I am wondering where the monies where will the money come from? So we are looking forward to UNFPA to see how ways they will help on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone. And for the challenges ahead, we are, like I said, we are putting our apps together, and if they want to politicize this, we will depoliticize it. We are going to do it strictly for the benefit of the people of this country, and that's what we are going to maintain. Any political interference, like I said, will meet stiff resistance.
Okay. I mean, the issue of funding, for the president to have come out and made the declaration, it means he must have the money, or at least he knows that the money is on its way. I mean, that's a very big confidence that the people should rely on.
I've just made mention of the Tomabon project. A lot of money, the president made proclamation on it also. Nothing is happening. So if there is census again, maybe he wants to do what he did during the midterm census, wherein when the international community, the international partners saw that indeed it was not prudent, it was not, like I said, constitutional, you understand, based on our own belief, they pulled out, and then he forced his way, and we saw the way and manner at which it was conducted. So we don't want to see a reoccurrence of such. We want to see an activity that is based on mutual understanding with democratic best practices, and all those policies that are laid down, we follow them thoroughly. So if we do so, then we are doing it on behalf of the people of the country. But any other agenda behind the scene that will contravene the position of the constitution, like I said, it will also face stiff
agenda
resistance.
such as
well, maybe we are a district we are not supposed to be, and then you want to create districts there by force. No, we'll challenge that.
No, I mean, what do you mean create district by force? The districts are only going to be created if the figures dictate that.
And that is exactly why we are saying Statistics Sierra Leone must ensure they conduct it with that kind of sincerity of purpose. If we see the sincerity of purpose, there is no need for us to raise any alarm. But if we see fraudulent assignments being working on, then we will have to raise the alarm.
I remember when President Kurma was in governance, the then opposition leader, Chairman John Oponjo Benjamin, no sooner the then government released the census result than John Oponjo Benjamin held a press conference, issued a press release, debunking, challenging the then census, also the midterm census. This issue of once the census results are out, the opposition will begin to say we do not believe these figures, they are not credible, they do not represent the realities on the ground. When are we going to turn the page around that?
We believe in whatever we are going into, but if the processes are not handled properly, then we should come out again and state them. It does not mean because we believe and we are going into them, then we should not cry foul where foul is. Like I said, if there are any occurrences of whatever agenda that is against the development of Sierra Leoneans, then we'll challenge it.
And actually, Fakano, I mean, as a ruling party, you are the bigger one. One expect the ruling party to instill confidence in the whole process, to instill fairness, and also what have you.
That's what we are doing. That's why I'm here, to let the people know that this is going to be a fair process, a credible process, one that is inclusive and collaborative. But my nephew mentioned Tomabum twice already. But the problem is that I believe he does not know what's going on in there. You haven't been there. If you go to Tomabum, you'll know that that money is not wasted. It is the process. It is not a seasonal, one season thing.
How long has it taken now?
2-3 years now.
Shouldn't we?
No.
We should have started seeing dividend now.
Well, you prefer to eat Chinese rice.
No.
It's the Guineans who eat that.
I eat local rice.
Okay, well, I'm sure. So where do you think it comes from?
Is it coming from Tomabum?
The Tomabum is a project. No, hold on. Tomabum is a project that looks at the 3 rice baskets. Tomabum, Mambulu, and Samu. They work together. They are in the same process. They're in the same project. And if you go to Tomabum today, you look at Samu and all that. This year alone, the cultivated area, planted area is 29,000 hectares. Call it 30,000 hectares. That is 75,000 acres. That's not nothing. But it is not only the cultivation. It is the provision of channels for irrigation. That's ongoing. So that the cultivation process will not only be seasonal.
Okay.
It will be more than once, several times a year.
This Tomabum issue. Let's find another day.
I'll be very glad.
We'll find another day.
But visit it first before you come. Go to Tomabum first.
You started off with the issue of fairness, credibility.
Oh yes.
Because that's where the problem lies.
That is what we are doing. I think most of the things that happened in the past. If I should remember what the president of Kenya said when there was a demonstration against it. Later on, when the truth about the bill went out, and people said to him, why didn't you tell us this? He realized that he had a kind of failure in communication with these people. We're not going to allow that. We're going to be talking to them. We're going to be working with them. We're going to be advising, talking to the public. We're going to be sensitizing.
Is that one of the mistakes you made in 2021, the midterm census?
The midterm census was not a mistake. I told you that it is an obligatory.
No, but the census was not a mistake, but maybe during the process there are certain mistakes that you guys have learned now.
Well, if you're trying to walk through a road and somebody immediately starts throwing nails and thorns on the road, you're bound to jump from left to right, that kind of thing. There was disruption, a determined commitment to disrupt the process. Because the opposition the opposition didn't want that. But this time they want it. So for me,
so what has changed?
What has changed?
Yes, sir.
One, we have had Bintumani 3 now. Is it 4? Bintumani 4. That is the peace negotiation.
Is this one of the outcomes?
It's some of the outcomes. So anything that has to do with governance, we should be discussing with them. We should be working with them. We should go to Parliament and get them to be on side on something that we believe is good for us. And that is happening. So I believe that the recommendations and all that are working. We're all putting them together.
Okay, Alaji Pope, what has changed now? What has changed the tone of the party this time to we are going to cooperate, we are going to support?
For us, nothing changes. For the fact that it meets constitutional requirements, then we'll work with it. Like I said, when there are any attempts to defraud the program, then we'll come out again and challenge it seriously. Nothing changed.
Has just given assurance to the opposition that you are going to be included, you are going to be consulted,
They
you are going
started
to be
already.
part of the process.
Well, like I said,
that's a very strong assurance coming from no less